This is the Just My Type podcast.
Here we go. Hello, hello, around the block and around the world. This is where we discuss, debate, and deliberate all things diabetes. Representing type 2, my name is Dobie Maxwell. Representing type 1, the vivacious, effervescent, always in the know, Ms. Sami Parker. We'll get to Sami in a second, but first, this episode of Just My Type is brought to you by, Sami, what is it?
The Diabetes app.
One of our favorites. What is it?
Social community app where you can find people with type 1, type 2, gestational, pre, and Dobie and me, and community and resources on the Diabetes app.
Short and sweet, getting to our guest. She has rapidly climbed up the charts to number 1 on our list of favorites. And she's back.
This isn't a joke. Sorry, everybody listening.
Flattering.
No joke. No, it's good. When you click somebody, I clicked with Sami after the first episode, and we clicked with this young lady on the first episode that we taped with her. Go ahead, Sami, bring her on.
We've got Miss Laura Pavlakovich in the house.
No, Sami.
Oh, no. Pavlakovich. I
Pavlakovich.
said it wrong, and I
Oh,
felt so
come on.
confident.
And you got it right the first time.
Exactly.
Pavlakovich. Well, I need to read too. We have Miss
Okay.
Laura Pavlakovich in the house.
Take 2. How many letters is that, Laura?
I want to say 11.
Okay, you want to say?
She's like, I want to
Well,
say
because
I want to confidently say it, but now that you asked me directly, I feel like I should check it, but I'm going to say 11.
It's 11.
No, I had a good friend of mine.
It's I knew it.
We were comedian friends, and his name was Tim Marzolkowski, and he had 13 letters. And I nicknamed him Polish Thunder, so he just went by Polish Thunder. But whenever I see somebody with a long name, it's like, well, 11 is pretty long. 13 is the record that I
11.
met, but no, I'm sure there's somebody longer.
Yeah, I wonder the world record for longest last name.
Probably somebody Greek.
Something to fact check later.
Papadopoulos.
Something to fact check.
Polish is long.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, anyway.
It's still funny
I'm
to me.
excited.
I was literally like, who's the face behind your Just My Type? Like, I would be like, who is it? And then I was like, well, I want her on. Like, everybody talks about it. I want her on. And then now I'm like, how did I not know you?
Do you think people don't know I run that account? I'm genuinely curious.
Well, now I found out because you started posting a little bit about you on it. And I was like, okay, here we go. Now I know who
Yes.
she is.
Because in the beginning, I did post more of myself. And then very quickly I go, this is not about me. This is about everyone else. So then I
think you can
actually
throw in a
intentionally
photo.
tried to remove. But now I'm getting a little more comfortable doing like Instagram stories
Yeah, like,
of me
you
just
should like
blab
throw in
and
you know?
sprinkle.
Just like a little sprinkle. Little
But
holiday
I like kind of just like giving the platform.
Well, I
to-
like it. I love it. I think
to
it's
the-
great. It's
Thanks.
amazing. So Laura has a special, I guess, creation. Do you want to share this creation that you have?
This, I have a card deck in front of me. This was inspired by one of my favorite activities, which is this company called We're Not Really Strangers, and they make conversation card decks. They do like self-love edition, couples edition, just their regular, and it's all about connectivity and vulnerability and getting to know people. And I wanted to have something similar for my diabetes events. And so I had people from the community. I've only written a few of these. People submitted, I had different categories, and people submitted the most amazing questions. And so I printed them out into our own little You're Just My Type card deck that says, conversation starters collected from members of our community.
I love
And
that.
Well, you were
I
reading
wish you
some.
guys could see how color coordinated.
Well,
they
you
are.
are totally on the ball. But these questions were so fantastic. We have a question in the pod in every one of our episodes. And, you know, we want listeners to pipe up. So if you don't mind sharing some of those questions, I think listeners are going to be as fascinated as we were when you read them.
We're going to
I
play a
would love
little
to.
20 questions action. And in this
Rapid
episode, we're
fire.
dedicated to
It's
answering
like the lightning
Just My
round on a game
Types
show.
questions.
Exactly, but we'll take our time with
Yeah,
these.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. We're not going to like power through to like half
No
answer,
rush.
You know?
No. So, would you like me? I'm just going to read it.
You deal the
Yeah,
cards and
and
we'll react.
Well,
and
we'll
you will
discuss.
answer.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Mhm.
This one
Yeah.
falls under the support category.
Okay.
Has diabetes taught you any positive character traits that you might not have learned without it?
Yes, from a type 2 point of view, I was told when I got diagnosed that I could reverse it with diet and exercise. And I didn't know that I had the, how can I say, the resolve inside I did it in 3 months. I was off all insulin. And I walked and I ate nothing but good things. And I thought, okay, I'm cured now. And I let myself, as a professional comedian, go back into the lifestyle. And now with JMT, the Just My Type podcast, I'm back on a regimen again. So yeah, I thought it really brought out the inner resolve, and I think that everybody's got it, but you don't until you're back in a corner. You don't come out swinging. So that's my answer. What about you, Sammy?
I love it. Yes, I would say it has taught me to have some grit and to also be not selfish, but like knowing that you need to be able to do stuff for yourself, like exercise if you need to, take time for yourself. But it's also like I think my mom has done a great job, so we were always pretty confident growing up, but it definitely, to me, diabetes actually made me more like blah. Which people are probably like, how? Because I want to like hide. And I'm like, no, say it loud and proud. Give me all that attention with my diabetes, people.
What about you, Laura? What's your answer?
Yeah.
Two answers come to mind. I was just thinking about this the other day, but I think we are so accustomed to advocating for ourselves and having to, where it's now bled into other parts of my life. Where the other day I like went to return something, and they were like, "We can only give you store credit," and it's something so simple, but instead I like went home and emailed the company and ended up getting my money back. But it was little things where I'm like, I'm not going to take your answer as the end result of what's happening.
Yes.
And I think it's always just like going the extra mile. Like, no, there's another way to do this, and I'm not going to let like your first answer be how this situation ends.
It's gonna go.
And I
like
thought
that.
about that because I go, I don't think my old self or just like my young self, I would have just accepted, like just accepting more things. And now I don't really accept thing or stuff like that, where I'm like, no, I'm actually just going to try something, and if it works, that would be great. And I think that comes from my like insurance company telling me they don't cover my sensors anymore, and I'm like, well, let me try another way, and now
like
they're covered.
let me figure out a solution.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to take that for an answer, so let's try something else.
I love
and
that.
I think the other one that comes to mind is definitely standing up for myself. I am such a people pleaser, and it's hard to be like, no, I actually cannot come because my blood sugar is low. As much as I want to hang out with like you and your friends, I don't feel well, and it's hard to do, and I never want to be, I don't think any of us want to be a burden or feel like plans have to cancel because of my diabetes. But I think getting to an age now, I'm in my 30s, like I'm never going to compromise my health for the sake of others. But that's also something I came into, and I don't know if I would have that if it wasn't.
Supersonic.
Oh, guys, great answer.
Good. 1 for 1. You got a big deck.
1 for 1.
Hey.
Next one.
Next question.
Okay. Category: dating.
Wah,
How many dates? This is a loaded question. How many dates before you bring up you are diabetic to the other person?
Okay.
Dobie?
Oh, you want me to go first? I fake a seizure in the first 5 minutes and start twitching. And when the ambulance comes, I pop up and I said, if you can get through that, you can get through me.
Toby, that's not what you do. Terrified.
No, that's totally a joke. But I like to bring it up in the first, at least in the first meal. Usually it's a dinner, right? What's the first date? Usually a meal, and you try to bring it up. By the way, I have type 2 diabetes. I, care about what I eat, blah, blah, blah. A little bit different for a type 1 if you got the, like you say, what do you call it? The beeping, I don't have a Dexcom.
Robot parts.
Okay. Yeah, robot stuff. So what about you guys? Go ahead. Who's Sammy?
Personally, like I think everybody and their mothers know I have diabetes. So like I would just bring up on the first date. Like if we were out at dinner, I would be like, oh, by the way, yeah, I have like type 1, so I have to take insulin. And then I'm just like, and I would give the insulin shot. I understand that some people don't want to like have to make that this topic of conversation. And so I think if that's how you feel, then going about a date and like going to the date, and if it comes up because you have to take an insulin shot in front of them, then great. But if it doesn't, then I don't see the harm if you're like, okay, I would feel more comfortable waiting to the second. But to me, if they can't handle your diabetes, then that's the benchmark. They're out. Next.
What say you, Miss Laura?
I completely agree. Just to add to that, if someone has a poor reaction to you saying that you have diabetes or bringing it up, that is not your person.
No.
Right.
And it is a very easy way to weed potential partners out, because if they think it's a struggle, you just telling them, that is not someone you want to be with.
No.
I think over time I have gotten much more comfortable. Like, it is so a part of my life. And now that I work in diabetes as a living, it comes up so naturally. If they ask me what I do for a living, I tell them that I run a type 1 nonprofit. why do you run in type 1? Oh, I'm type 1. Like it is now it's
Yeah.
even more of a topic of conversation that I couldn't avoid if I wanted to. It's just so my life revolves around it in so many aspects. But I do remember being younger, and I remember I went on a date with this girl once, and I did not want to tell her on the first date. And like as we're walking, we walked for so long, and I just remember the sweats started. And I was like, oh no, I am going low. And like as I like couldn't even went so low I didn't even have the energy to tell her. I just start like shoveling glucose tabs in my mouth as we're walking, and I'm like, okay, keep like just hold that thought, and I'm just like eating so much sugar, and of course it had to come out then. And it's honestly like, when you try to hide it, it makes it even
Well,
worse. But I
Yeah.
also agree with what you said, Sam. We're like, I don't think you have to tell anyone on the first day. Like that's your own information. If you don't feel like you need to, like it's something you do at
it's
your
so
own time.
tricky.
and I totally agree with that, but I also think that I like to just get it out there. It's like, okay, this is part of the deal. Like, for example,
Yes.
here's one thing I did one time, and I regret it now. I thought it was funny. I did an insulin shot, and I said, excuse me, I'm a heroin addict, and I got to get a fix before dinner. And she did not think that was funny at all. And I thought, you know what?
I think it's kind of funny.
I think it's kind of
It's the
funny.
same thing.
I don't think she knew I was a comedian. And again, comedians, the worst comedians, I don't want to be on off stage. If you and I are sitting around, I'm not going to be making fake fart noises. We're people, we're talking, blah, blah, blah. But just part of the thing. And I had to do it. I thought it was funny and did not flow well that night.
Right. And the same, you even brought up being type 1 is different in the fact where when the food comes, are we going to get up and go to the bathroom and get a
Right.
shot or test our blood sugar? It's like, it's so involved. Like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
diabetes is always there. It's really hard to
Yeah, and then when they're like,
not
"What do you do
bring
for
it
work?"
up.
I'm like, work for a diabetes company? They're like, do you have diabetes?
Right.
No.
I know. I love when they go, oh, do you have to? And I'm like, yeah. But
Like,
I get
yeah,
it. There are
like,
people that work,
yeah.
there are plenty of non-diabetics who work for diabetes org, so.
These questions are fantastic, and I think we need to talk about them. There should be a game show, Laura. You should host a game show. Double your diabetes.
We can do like a live. People
Yes.
can join in on Instagram.
You got something there.
Oh, you,
Run with
Dobie, you are giving me some
And you know what? Just let me
ideas.
drive your limo. I tell Sammy that. You guys are both stars. If I could drive your limo, I got the little hat. I'm going to get my license. I'm available 24/7, and I will move to Los Angeles to be your driver, both of you.
How fun would it be to do like
Oh, yeah.
guests
No, that's a great idea.
not every, I'm before I say every week, and then we can just do little questions
I think
with the
it'd be
different
fun.
guests and people can
Run with it.
watch.
What's the next question? Let's
That'd
hit
be
it.
great. Who was the first person, if any, on your diabetes team to make you feel like you could still live a quote normal life?
Wow.
Do you have
That's a great question. Sammy, you got it.
These are again, these were submitted by our own members of the community.
Yeah.
We need to give them
Dobie?
credit.
Okay, I don't want mine was I was in my 40s when I was diagnosed, and comedians are comedians. I all say it because we're dented cans. Sammy, I admire you because of your wonderful family upbringing, and Laura, it sounds like you had a close family too. I did not, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I've been on my own most of my life. My grandparents raised me. My dad was a biker. My mom was a drug addict, and been alone. And when I got diagnosed, I was really alone, and I thought it was a death sentence. Oh my God, I got diabetes. You hear about the other people get that. I don't get that. And this is only type 2. And I was in the doctors were very clinical, and you're going to blood sugar and you're going to be in the hospital. And I ended up, go listen to my diagnosis story. I was in the hospital for 9 days and had an operation, and I was scared to death. And I talked to a dietitian, and this was after I got out of the hospital and she said, I know you're afraid. It's not a death sentence. I am going to walk you through this. It's almost like the mom I never had, the person, it can be defeated. I am going to walk you through this. One human being, compassionate to another human being. That is what really turned it around for me. And I'll never forget her as long as I live.
I would probably say, mine was just like my family was still, like, they were just awesome. Like, I got diagnosed December 15th of 2012, and we went to Mammoth December 27th, 2012. And like at first, my mom they didn't want to go because they were like, oh my gosh, like my cousin has it on my dad's side, so she was like, altitude and all like this stuff, like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be so many things that contribute. And then my mom was like, nope, we need to go, we need to make her think like it's okay, we can still do stuff. And so I just say my family was very much like I still did everything. I still danced growing up. I still did all XYZ, and we just would figure it out and solve it together. But what about you, Laura?
Um, yeah, I don't think because I was so young when I was diagnosed, I don't remember
Yeah.
anyone like on my medical team, but I think immediately my parents were like, okay, let's look up activities for diabetics in the area. So going to camp and doing having the support groups that they put on, I mean, all you need to do is be around other diabetics to know. They look no, they're doing it too, and they seem fine. So I think that I think just being around others with it for sure. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean, I love
okay,
that.
there's a lot of us out there.
Yeah,
Millions.
there's a lot of us out there.
And it's getting to be more,
Millions.
sadly.
All right, next question.
What passions and interests have you developed as a result of your diabetes?
Dobie is
Bingo.
gonna like
2,
this one.
diet and exercise. Bingo. And I
Oh,
never did. I'm a comedian. I talked about this before. I drive 8 hours to work a 45-minute shift. The heaviest thing I lift is a microphone. I have a Big Mac in one hand and a Diet Coke or a regular Coke in the other. So it completely changed my life. And I now look forward to my walks every morning. As we record this, I'm on day 176 of my at least 10,000 steps. Today I did 16,000. Yesterday I did 18,000. And it has changed my
How
life. I
insane.
sleep better. I feel better. I am better. I am now the advocate I never thought I would be. My dad stopped smoking when I was a kid, and he would go up to strangers at a restaurant. You know what that does to you? And he was just a jerk about it. And they would light up 2 cigarettes just to get him away from them. But he did it in a bad way. Now people are asking me. I post about it all the time. It's like, are you still walking? I can't stop walking now because everybody asks me about it. And now at a restaurant, you can't
bless
eat that,
them.
can you? It's like, well, no. So I mean, salads and things are part of my life that weren't a part of my life for a long time. So those are my 2, and I am proud to say it. Sammy, what about you?
I love it. Well, I went plant-based in 2020 because I was insulin resistant and I followed Mastering Diabetes method and it totally flipped my insulin resistance. So I love plant-based foods because I could never eat fruit because I was so resistant. So as a type 1, I'm like, yes, I live on fruit now. And then my other one would be, well, I was always an exercise guru, but I love helping people with any autoimmune or any issue with like learning how to implement exercise. Yeah, so I'd say that's definitely my thing. What about you, Laura? Well, we
Passions
know
and
what yours
interests. Oh,
is.
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. I connecting. I connecting other people in the community is definitely one of my biggest passions now. It makes me so happy when I get messages of someone saying, I just met someone, or I know someone who was just diagnosed. They live in Austin. Is there anyone you can link them with so that they can talk to? And I'm like, yes. And I like go through my Rolodex after doing this for so long. Just the amount of people that I've been able to meet, and I love connecting. We even do, yeah. I'm gonna end it there. It's just
No,
my
that's
favorite
so
part is
awesome.
like,
That's so great.
yeah, I
You're
love
like
it.
you're like the I don't know, like when you like go on like LinkedIn and you're trying to find someone. You're like the
No,
diabetes
I would
LinkedIn.
say, please don't take us.
you're not the first person to say this.
Don't be insulted,
Literally, you
Laura.
are.
I look at you as a diabetic concierge because you go to a fine
No,
hotel. Did someone call you that already?
this is so no, but people call me the T1 Booker because I get a lot of like college kids who are doing video like documentaries and they need people. And I mean, I did a piece for the New York Times where I found them people. I'm working with National Geographic right now who need people, and it's so insane that people can just reach out and say, I am looking for a Hispanic type 1 female ages 24 to 26 who lives in this part of the world. And I can do a post. And it's not like I personally can remember all of these people, but I simply just have to do a post on my story and I'll have a million messages of people who either know someone or is someone else who is doing a podcast was like, we're looking for type 1 pharmacists. And I'm like, stand by. And I posted, I need a type 1 pharmacist.
Wow.
And there was all of you. And I'm like, it's so powerful, but it's so empowering. Almost. It's just exciting. But I hear that it's awesome. I really like being that person.
So
Definitely.
cool. I love that. Yeah.
Especially when you use it for good. With
Yes.
what you're doing.
Yes, I don't abuse
No,
it.
I'm not saying you do, but I say I can tell by
I know.
talking to you. We try to be the same way. It's like we want to
Yeah.
bring people together as well. So now I'm glad we're together. Now we're going to point people to you, and you're going to point people to us, and it's going to get all better. That's how it works.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
do we have time for more?
Yes, we have time for one more.
Have you ever had to deal with your own medical staff not knowing certain things about diabetes? Do you inform them?
I'm going to pass on that one. Go ahead,
Yes.
Sammy.
I would say yes. Like I said, I was plant-based, and my doctor was like, so maybe just at night eat like a cracker with some cheese to keep your blood sugars higher. I was like, did we not hear what? Like, okay. She's like, well, that shouldn't. And she was so sweet, but I just was like, I feel like I'm telling my doctors what I had to do. I had to like figure out to become plant-based to reverse my insulin resistance. They had no idea. So, but I'm going to a new doctor in November, so all is well. But what about you?
Oh, yeah, I have multiple experiences. My most recent was I went in to get an endoscopy, and I told every single person, like in order, that I was type 1. And I'm on the table about to be put under, and the anesthesiologist goes, so you're type 2 diabetic? And I said, no, I'm type 1. And he goes, oh, it just says here diabetic, so I assumed you were type 2. And I said, no, I've told everyone, and it makes me very nervous that now I'm going under anesthesia. And if you guys don't know that I'm type 1, you don't know to be looking out
Yeah,
for
because
my blood
that's like,
sugar.
yeah.
And the question that they asked too, always, every single every single person I talked to that I told I was diabetic, they said, do you take insulin? And I would say yes. And they'd say, how long have you been taking insulin? Like, well, since the day I was diagnosed with diabetes. But it's stuff like that where I'm like, I understand. I give passes to the general public all the time. I do not expect the general
Yeah.
public to know about diabetes. But when it comes to staff, even I also understand they have to learn a lot in medical school. I get it. But there's like the basics I do feel like they should understand. And
Yeah.
when I did tell her I was on insulin, she said, "Oh, what insulin do you take? Metformin?" And I said, "That's not insulin."
Yeah, right.
And that's a type 2 medication. So like not she was just wrong on so many levels, and I'm like, "You guys, you're making me so nervous being under your care when you don't even know the basics about type 2 or type 1 because clearly they
Yeah.
were mixing it up." So that scares me, and I actually posted about that experience, and oh my goodness, the messages, there were so many messages of people who had the most terrifying stories of people like going to the hospital and the doctors taking their insulin pumps away and not letting them do their own insulin, and they were all staying over 300, just really scary experiences of people not being able to. And they're like, well, if you can't take care of me, then you have to let me. It's one thing if you know what you're doing and I can trust you to look out for me when I'm in the hospital, but if you don't even have all the information, I think there's just a lack of education. And
Yes, there is.
I'm not blaming any. I mean, I don't know. I would love if that could get fixed so that other people. But I just heard horror stories of doctors like not knowing what to do in this situation.
Wait, that's like, I can't believe that they wouldn't.
And people were like giving birth, like women would go in to have baby, people like would go in to have and they would try to take their pumps away and like not give them, and they're like, you have to let me do, like, you're not putting me, like, I'm awake, like, let me take care of myself.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
And people told me their anesthesiologist didn't know either, and they got up and left before the procedure, and they're like, there's no way I'm getting put under when you don't even know what could happen to me if something goes wrong. Like people going under for hours. Luckily mine was so short, but that is scary.
Wow.
I did morning radio for
That
a long
is
time, and at the end of the news, it's called a kicker story. It's something that gets people to call in and talk about it. And the one day I'll never forget it. Somebody was in the hospital and was getting a leg amputated, and the doctor took off the wrong one. So it's got nothing to do with diabetes, but talk about a bad day. That's it. And obviously people would call all day. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. So yeah, woodwork squeaks, out come the freaks. Sometimes you got to be on your toes.
It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, I would literally have been like running.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
So you take insulin?
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
But people say that all the time. People always ask. Oh, I was going to say, if anyone wants these questions, I have them all saved in a PDF that I will gladly email. Yes, that's what I was
going to say. Everybody needs to know that they can get this from a PDF. From You're Just My Type 1 on Instagram, Laura.
Exactly. I will happily send it to anyone. They're really fun. There's a ton of them.
Great. Okay, so pick one for a question of the pod if you can.
Oh, okay.
So sorry. And then we'll make that the question of the pod, and you can answer that on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at JustMyTypePod, _ Facebook at JustMyTypePod, and our hashtag JustMyTypePod.
This is great.
Great.
What is something that you thought you wouldn't be able to do with diabetes, but proved yourself wrong about? I like this question because it's not what did you think you couldn't do, but other people proved you right or wrong. Like, what did you prove yourself wrong about?
I love
What
that.
I'm going to read it one more time.
Yes, please.
What is something that you thought you would not be able to do or accomplish with diabetes, but proved yourself wrong about?
Amazing. Okay. I love it. Answer the question of the pod, please. We want to hear your response. We'll share our responses. And you can find Laura again at You're Just My Type 1 on Instagram, you'rejustmytype.com, online. And next event she has, everybody needs to go out and book it. So
we post all our events on the website and Instagram.
Love it.
Make it a part of your day. Well, please make us part of your day as well. The community is growing one by one. This show is that we've both hopefully made a great connection that will last a long time. And we're well on our way to 1 million listeners or more. There's no limit. We can go higher than that if you want to. Thanks to Laura. Thanks to Sami. And we're going to put the sugar-free cherry on the Healthy Sunday one last time.
C'est la vie, baby.
This is the Just My Type podcast.